it would help if I didn't hit, instead of hitting record, I should hit start streaming. So that one's on me. But now I think we're going. So, we're gonna try doing it this way, and we're gonna see how it goes. This way is a lot less editing, and I still get the basic thoughts out. So I'm just gonna watch the dev update and see how it goes. Alright, let's start.
To our...
Okay, right here. And then I could pause it and commentate so I don't have to commentate over them.
Hello everyone and welcome to our November development update. We hope that you've been having a glorious month, and it's definitely been one for us. We constantly have so much going on, but you know, that's all good. Of course, we are in the festive November season, going into winter. I got my turtleneck, you know. I hope you guys all have your hot cocos or pumpkin spice lattes, whatever you're into. How are you doing, Steven?
I am doing great. We had a very fun little recording session. I think you guys are in for a treat today. It's a little over 40 minutes of gameplay with some cleric action and some night sky fun stuff, and there's a lot of good things. I think you guys are going to have a fun time watching, so I'm excited.
100%. I kind of gave everybody a little hint in chat that it was going to be a long stream, so buckle yourself in, guys. We're going to be in for a little longer of a ride today, but you always enjoy whenever I think the bingo card might have a long stream on it, so
Good thing I started early.
we'll see if we hit the marker for it. But of course, before we get into all the things, we have some reminders and things of that sort. So I would like to say, reminder that we are going over, what we're covering today is going to be reminders. As Steven said, we're going to be going over Cleric Update, which also includes some Night Sky and Constellation fun. And we also have a character update, which will be a little bit shorter. And then we have a studio update, which will be also probably pretty short. And then we have our Q&A. I will be taking questions during the video as well. So
Thank you for the like.
if you are asking stuff, you'll see that I usually pull some things from that if I see things that I think need to be clarified, because sometimes we say stuff when we're playing, but you know, when you're playing and talking at the same times, sometimes you don't clarify everything that you need to. So we'll touch base on those things. So for our quick reminders, first and foremost, we want to say thank you to our lovely YouTube subscribers. If you would like to be spotlighted, you can head on over to our YouTube channel. Whenever we upload the development update, if you subscribe to our channel and you leave a comment, you could perhaps be selected. And you must make it available for people to know that you're subscribed so that we can see you. So for today's question, Papa
Noah's in the chat. Ash is hype. Yeah.
Smurf 6834 is our lovely...
So is the Sam D Man. That's a new one in the chat. I don't think I've met the Sam D Man yet.
Spotlight, and they had asked or mentioned, in the open world PvP system, will there be a prevent attacking innocent option that when turned on will prevent me from accidentally attacking a non-corrupted player? I say this because griefers are often very good at making you attack them by accident.
Ooh, good question. So there's a few things here. First and foremost is that the open world flagging PvP system requires what we call force function in order to initiate.
So I'm gonna set a goal for 10 likes for this stream. Not that I want to be one of those streamers, because I feel like goals are cringy sometimes. But I've never gotten 10 likes in a stream, so let's see if we can hit that.
An attack against another player, and by default that's even against players who are already flagged, though not against players who are corrupt. And there in the settings, you will have options by which you can you can persist that force function if you wish through another keystroke input. And then additionally, you can set your AoEs so that if you initiate an AoE attack against a location and there are flagged players there, you can set it so that you will automatically hit those flagged players, but by default it doesn't. So those are options in your settings that you will have access to and be able to adjust.
All right. Thank you for that, Stephen. We appreciate it. And of course, thank you, Papa Smurf, for being, we love a good Smurf, supporting us and our development process. Like I said, if you would like your comment spotlighted and perhaps your question answered, all you have to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel. And when we upload our
Day-night cycles should be 6-hour day, 6-hour night cycles, and 1 month seasons. I don't know. Don't spoil it. Have you watched it already? Because this is my first time watching it.
development updates every month, just leave a comment in regards to what you would like asked, and you could be selected. So with that, we have a little bit of reminders. Today is not too many. We want to thank first and foremost everybody who joined us for Extra Life. Our community raised over $77.9 thousand for the Children's Miracle Network Hospital.
That's a good chunk of money. Good job, guys.
Smokes.
Located all across North America, the Children's Miracle Hospital will treat over 32 million kids this year alone, and children receive care regardless of their family's ability to pay. So you've helped literal miracles happen. And
absolutely. And guys,
just my hopes for the game, that's all. Oh, gotcha.
Can I just comment real quick, Margaret? I mean, I know we've said this, the feel goods are great, but honestly, if you think about the practicality of what that dollar value means, and the fact that as a community, we were capable of achieving this accomplishment, now bringing our grand total of Extra Life involvement over the past several years to nearly $250,000. That is something that is truly significant, and it really, I mean, it's difficult sometimes to understand what that impact is, not seeing it, face to face in action, but it really
someday when I get big, I want to do Extra Life stuff.
Makes the world of difference for a great number of children. And the fact that you guys showed up and as a community we were able to achieve that together is truly remarkable, especially given the fact that we are still in development. So I just want to say we are setting the right pace, the right example as an MMORPG community in showing what's capable from the gamer population to do good in the world. And really big props and kudos to you guys in the community. That was really something that was amazing.
I will be pausing a lot, so be ready for that, guys. Also, 3 likes. Cool.
Yourselves a hand. It was awesome. Truly impressed.
Yeah, I can do a little round of applause.
Yeah! Oh, you got the sound effects.
Of course I got the sound effects. But we also want to mention that as a teaching hospital, Rady Children's Hospital not only helps children every single day, but they also train future generations of doctors and nurses. So we're super proud of our community. Thank you so much, everybody. And as Stephen said, we've raised...
I changed my mind. 12-hour days and 12-hour nights would be more impactful.
Over $247,000 throughout the years, and that would not be possible without you all. And it's pretty amazing to see the gaming community come together for a great cause for the kids.
Yes.
So thank you so much. We super duper appreciate it. And of course, we also have our monthly cosmetics. Just as a reminder, if you are not aware, these will be swapping over. The Wardens in the Wilds will be swapping over on...
I've been playing way too much Warcraft. I saw these guys and I automatically thought, for the Horde!
December 14th, 2022 at 11 a.m. Pacific.
It's starting to get to
all
me.
All of these are things that will help us build the world. So these are NPCs, creatures, buildings that you'll see in the world. And these are just skins, so you'll see them in the world as other pieces and NPCs. And so if you want to get tidbits of lore of...
So timed with real time? But then someone playing through, who has to work through the day, will play nothing but nighttime. I don't know. We'll see.
How they'll be affecting the world. It's a great way to kind of get a little hint. I know you lore junkies out there are always like, give us lore. I'm like, we give you lore every month, and sometimes it's really long lore. But there's some good ones in there. Definitely check them out. And of course, we're going to move into our cleric update / day-night cycle constellation madness. It's a lot. So I'll let Stephen first and foremost preface this video.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So, as always, I have to preface this for those of you who might just be tuning in for the first time or aren't a regular attendant to our monthly updates. What you're about to see is a work in progress towards Alpha 2. Bear in mind that art gets better, performance gets better, the gameplay gets better. The primary purpose of us showing these on a monthly basis is to give the community an update on progress.
Basically, what he's saying is don't judge the entire game based off this footage.
But also, and more importantly, to elicit response and feedback from you guys, because we are a transparent development process, and that means the world to us from an iteration standpoint. It helps direct us, and we are capable of directly engaging with our community, which is probably the most important component of a development process. So as you guys are watching, please keep that in mind. Please make sure to go and comment on the YouTube video. It'll be uploaded after this stream in
You could also comment on my YouTube video too.
its full 4K glory. Excuse me. And then in addition, go to our Reddit, go to the YouTube, go to our forums on Twitter, and give us your feedback, your comments, what you really liked about the showing today, and where you feel that there's room for improvement. That's very important. You are going to see a little bit aspect of the cleric. You're going to see some components of the night and day cycle. I think for the first time seeing a transition from day to night. You're going to see the use of the feature set for constellations. You're going to see and learn a little bit about undead and how certain types of energy and elemental components will influence the ability to do damage to different species types. You're going to see some of the advanced AI today as well. You're going to see a beautiful biome within the Riverlands. It's actually near the Alpine Forest. It's a little bit higher in elevation, although it is still in the Riverlands. You're going to see an awesome cemetery. You're going to see a lot of fun stuff.
I love cemeteries in video games.
And then we will come back and we will be chatting with you about it afterwards. So, enjoy.
I like how they just get to it now. They don't waste a lot of time in between the how do you do's and the chunk of the content. Because it used to be you have to sit through a lot to get through the good stuff. Now they just throw the good stuff at you. And I really like that. Alpha 2, day and night. Well, night and day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another stream in the world of Vera. I am joined by two absolutely awesome and stellar developers on Ashes of Creation with whom you have actually experienced a live stream with before. They are our glorious engineer, Keenan. How you doing, buddy?
Good.
Jens Marcus Spangberg. True. New World has some great cemetery visuals, especially at night.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Happy to be here with you again. And then we also have one of our senior game designers, Mr. Trad. How you doing, Trad?
Hey, good to see everyone again. Good to be back.
So we are in a new biome that actually I don't believe anyone's ever seen before. Where are we? We are in this kind of looks a little bit like the Alpine Forest, but actually this is a part of the Riverlands. This is up near the Alpine Forest area. So you're going to see some western larks and eastern hemlocks. We're obviously at a bit of a higher elevation. If you look off to the...
Ashes has some great visuals. Like, the move to Unreal 5 was probably a good call by the team, not gonna lie.
East over there, you can see kind of where the starting area for the Aelan humans, the Kalar and the Valoon would start in Alpha 2, down in the basins of the Riverlands. But we are somewhere else, and the reason we're up in this higher elevation is because we want to show to you guys the night and day cycle, a little bit of some of the cemetery areas with some undead, and there's some
Bro, show me them zombies.
constellations I think we're going to be taking a look at today as well, that we'll get a good vantage point from up in this elevation. And also, you may notice two familiar characters. We have the Ranger that you guys saw a little bit. Keenan, you're playing the Ranger, right?
Yep.
All right. Now, there was a lot of commentary about my playing of the Ranger. And some people didn't think I played it very well. So we're going to have to make sure that you're on your game today with that Ranger.
Imagine critiquing the creator of the game for sucking at his game. I'm sure he plays it better than I do.
I'll show him how it's done.
I'm also sure he knows all the secrets too. You know, he created the game. Guys, be nice to him. Holy cow.
And then,
Taking your job.
exactly. And then we also have, Trad, you're playing the fighter, right?
Yep.
I think it's all in good fun, though. I don't think it's serious.
You have
Very
to
nice.
substitute as the tank role of the party.
Oh,
the
that's
actual tank.
That's right. We haven't shown off the tank yet, so the fighter is going to be our tank today, which I think is fine. Let's start heading down this way a little bit. What do you say?
Let's go. Let's do
Let's
it.
do this. So, what do we have?
Do you guys RP walk when you play MMOs? Like during cutscenes and there's like the NPC and he's walking. Do you RP walk with the NPC or do you just run and try to get there? Because I'll be honest, sometimes I RP walk with the NPCs.
Today with the cleric, Trad, we're going to be looking a little bit at the cleric and some of the new weapons.
That's a cool helmet though. I really like that helmet.
The
Yep.
mace and the staff, is that right?
That is correct. We've got a two-handed staff and a one-handed mace shield. You'll also see 4 new spells that the cleric will be casting. And I won't spoil too much on that. You'll see them as we start getting into combat here. But
Now, Keenan, you play a cleric as a main in your MMOs, is that right?
yeah, I typically play support.
And what is the most fun aspect of cleric gameplay for you?
Same. From my research, Sea of Thieves has 70k kilometer of area, and Ashes has 750 kilometers of water area. Wow. It has more water than Sea of Thieves. You're gonna drown in this game.
Put you on the spot.
For
Is it-
me, for me, it's making sure it's being able to ensure that the party wins.
Yeah.
I can't play a healer. I'm just not that good.
Yes, that is definitely the role I think of as support. Any good player knows that supports win and lose games, in my opinion. Apologies to all non-support players. But, you know, when
He's right. I'm just not good enough to play the role.
you think about the... Oh, let's pause here. This looks like a little bit of a scary area. And as a matter of fact, let me see if... But, you know, we might need some supplies in here. Let me just see if I can chop down some trees. You know what? I think there was some oaks down here. These oaks might come in handy later. We'll see. But, you know, when you think about, like, cleric gameplay...
What class is your main? I usually go melee DPS because I like to be right in the thick of it.
That whack-a-mole that Trad said. That's kind of, I think, what a lot of MMO players are accustomed to, right?
Yeah, probably.
It's like following your party's hit point bars in the health bars in the the party window and just clicking between them and making sure you're like maintaining rotations and cooldowns on your heal abilities. You know, saving the really high mana usage ones for emergency situations, and just ensuring that your resource management, as well as like, you know, who your tanks are, who your fighters are. If a DPS gets out of position and starts taking a bunch of damage, like they're ruining your mana management essentially, right? So it's a little bit of dependency on like your party as well as your own rotation.
Yeah, it's a very reactive play
Did you see that clipping? That stick just went right through his face.
style that I like. A lot of, you know, a lot of the time when you're playing DPS, it's like
Also, it's gonna happen with big items. I'm just memeing.
a lot of things are kind of predetermined with your rotation and all that. And obviously, there's like reactive elements
There is some clipping, though.
there that you're reacting to external variables and the encounters and such. But you know, with clerics, there's generally not as much of a rotation. You're kind of
That is cool armor, though.
responding every moment based on what's happening to your party.
By the
Yeah,
way,
there's a lot of predictive opportunities as well, like making sure that you're in the right place at the right time.
right. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's dismount and see what we got up here. These look like some skinwalkers. What are these skinwalkers? Trad, you want to talk to us a little bit about them?
These are just one of your basic fodder enemies. Like, you know, they're not too dangerous individually, but you know, in a pack they could be something to concern yourself with. So you
Steven's like, you talk while I show off this awesome armor.
don't want to pull too many at a time. But let's take them out and see what happens.
Oh, that wolf just dropped.
Not too bad.
All right, we took some damage there. A little
it's
bit of
flesh
damage
wound.
there. That wasn't too bad. Let me actually, hold on, let me adjust the master volume real quick. Audio, you guys are going to see some outstanding UI work that's...
SOT uses Unreal Engine, so I hope Ashes uses their experience with ships, oceans content to help Ashes ocean content. Yeah, me too.
necessary. I'm just gonna pull down this a little bit. There we go. Alright, so that's still got some UI work to do on the settings panel, but you get to see it in all of its work in progress glory. So they did do a little bit of damage to you. And talk to us a little bit about... oh wow, those guys actually got a little bit beat up.
Yeah. Must be those buffs on chains.
Oh yeah, I actually did. I didn't actually even get to cast chains.
You got to cast it, it just didn't do too much.
Yeah, exactly.
So one thing we were trying to set up there that we'll of course get to see a little bit more showcased in some of these tougher mobs inevitably coming up here is some class synergies.
I'm almost more excited to see the graveyard. Oh, 4 likes, thank you. I'm almost more excited to see the graveyard than I am the actual cleric. But that's just me being me. Don't take that to heart.
This particular one is where we demonstrate setting up a status effect called Stagger. You'll see a floater text pop up. Here, I'll show you. Don't kill him, don't kill him.
I'll hold back.
Actually, you won't see it on my screen, yeah, but basically it sets up a status effect. You can see a little bit of a VFX over his head, and then as you see there, Steven followed up with chains that triggers a stun on any target under that effect already.
Now up here, I believe, is an observation area where
5 likes, halfway there. And I'll stop mentioning it from here because now I'm starting to sound like one of those cringy streamers.
I am going to speed up time. Now, we talked a little bit about showcasing kind of night and day, and up here, if we make it past some of these, this is like a cemetery, right?
Looks to be that way.
Oh yeah, these dogs are these poor.
Kind of looks like the gates to Olympia from that old Hercules movie.
Dogs. I feel terrible about them. Oh, there's some zombies up here.
Okay, we got it coming.
Ooh,
They're starting
Not
to
as
move
fast
towards me.
though.
That is so cool.
You can kite these a little.
Oh my god!
Never mind.
What the heck was that?
So much for kiting. All right, get ready. See if you can drop a stun on them. Or is it on cooldown?
Nope, I got it.
All right, nice.
Oh no, I
This is a thriller.
accidentally canceled it.
I'm so sorry. Cleric was boring because it's a cleric. Everything else was dope.
Oh god! Hold on, group heal. There we go. Okay, we're doing okay.
Also, this is actual Ashes combat. I feel like this might be the first time we've seen it. Also, hi Blank, welcome to the stream.
I got you. I got you.
These zombies are really tough.
Some of them popped out of the ground. Oh, I love the charge effect, and it looks like they're. Oh my god, a dog came.
That dog's like, I want in on it.
We're hitting respawns. We need to keep moving.
Oh god.
Want to pull them up this way?
Yep. Now you'll notice my main heal actually can act as a
Combat looks good though. Yeah, no, I agree.
damage if the enemy target is if the target is an enemy. And actually that can generate as a mechanic for the cleric some convictions. Tell me a little bit about convictions, Trad.
Sure, yeah. Conviction is a class resource we came up with for the cleric specifically. Certain abilities will generate it based on certain criteria. And as Steven was saying there, you can either use it to heal an ally, or you can use it to do damage to an enemy and generate conviction, which will then help you in the future heal for more. So kind of what Keenan was saying about predictive play being an element, not just reactive. That would be one of the predictive aspects of the cleric. Just
I will say I was kind of disappointed by the lack of tombstones in my cemetery, but maybe I just missed something.
kind of setting yourself up so that when things start looking a little rough, you've kind of prepared that in advance by not healing as much early on and paying off later.
Now, at this point, I think players are for the first time seeing one of the moons of Vera. And there are a few moons, actually, of Vera. But you guys are going to witness me speeding up time, because day and night cycles in Ashes of Creation.
That is the boring part because it gets more intense. Okay, gotcha.
Are actually over the course of a few hours between those night cycles. So you're going to see the trees move all real rapidly, and you're going to see the sun drop rapidly, and then you're going to see the night sky begin to form. And we're going to try to identify some constellations if we can, because constellations and Ashes of Creation actually have a very relevant purpose across a whole host of different game systems, including on the narrative side.
I feel like everything has a purpose in Ashes of Creation. And it's like a two-sided coin. Well, every coin's two-sided, but like one side of me is like super excited that everything is so relevant. And then the other hand is like, everything is relevant. Just like slow down there. There might be a bit too much overload in this game, but we'll have to wait and see.
On mechanics like acquiring certain types of relics for your node, on empowering certain abilities and or items that you have access to. And it is, of course, relevant that I am playing as a Vek. Vek, as many of you may know, do worship and obviously study the stars. So let me see if I can go ahead and speed up that time. Stand by. There it goes. The trees. Look, I love it. It's kind of like Time Machine a little bit. Ooh. Oh, and the moon changed positions. It's now dead up. And we see another one of the moons. Now, of course...
That looks like the moon after the space colony arc hit it in Sonic Adventure 2. It's just the way my brain
Of
works.
course, as you guys may know, this is of course a work in progress, right? We're working towards our Alpha 2. So some of this stuff will likely change, especially on the art side. But I love what the new Skybox is doing, and I mean, it's just visually great. The ambience.
Let's make it 6 hours, 6 per day, night cycles, 2 full cycles in 24
The
hours.
course changes now to include a different nighttime feel to it. And the lighting actually in the night is not too bad. I mean, it gives you that kind of sense of darkness, but, you know, it's not inhibiting your ability to play the game. Now, we are trying to look, we need each of us to kind of look in the sky in certain directions to identify one of these constellations. And I think what we are looking for is what was once called a Bagormal, but now is called a Dawn Breaker, I believe. So try to look all around as you can in the night sky and identify the location of the Dawnbreaker. Where is the Dawnbreaker?
I'll be honest, the chances of me stopping what I'm doing to look for a constellation is very, very, very low.
Not yet seeing it. Are any of you seeing it? I don't see...
Not spotting it.
Can we not find the Dawnbreaker? Or maybe we'll find another one of them. Where is it? Hold on. It should have told me where it was. Oh, there we go!
Oh, unless they're constellations like that, then yeah, that's fine. I was thinking, like, you're gonna have to stop and look at every single star up there. But if it's constellations like that, that's totally fine with me. I was kind of worried there for a second.
Found the Dawnbreaker! Do you guys... Oh, it's right next to the destroyed moon.
Oh, that'll help.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Oh, it looks so good. I love it. Now that's oh, it went away. Sad. Sag. Now there is supposedly another constellation that is deeper into the cemetery if we want to progress that way. What do you guys think?
Using stars to navigate would be cool. Yeah, like the old school sailors.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, but
Do
wait,
it.
before we go, let me give us all just a group blessing. The three of us. Sorry.
I've got a buff beforehand. of
Let's
course.
do this.
Avengers assemble.
I think that'll wear off long before we get to use it.
Oh yes.
Gotta conserve your mana.
I know. Well, I'm trying. Are we going?
Oh, tank and healer going different ways.
Uh-oh.
We gotta.
Story of my MMO life. If I don't know if this is too dark or not because they are at a high point. I will not look how it will look in a forest.
I think I might have pulled one.
Stevens. He pretty much flipped him off. He's like, oh, by the way, the zombie's mad at me.
There's one coming over this direction.
Oh god, they're here.
Where? Where are
Right
you?
here, right here.
Ah, okay. You guys take care of it.
The zombies will never catch us.
Nice. We got that. Where are you at? There we go.
Yeah, it looks like we aggroed one. Here, let's just get this guy real quick.
Ooh, aggroed a lot more than one.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
Steven plays MMOs like I do. He just has fun.
Okay.
Let's tread carefully around these parts, apparently.
We're doing okay, I think. Maybe
It feels like everyone misses with that hammer ability.
I should take my staff out for this. Oh, you know, I haven't shown any active blocking yet. That's another thing I wanted to show you guys, is the active blocking. Are there creatures down here?
Yeah, there should be a pack down here, I think.
Alright, let's take a look. What is this?
This is the graveyard.
Oh. Oh, it's a respawn point.
I also think he said the constellations will be useful for certain
Resurrection.
things.
Different kind of graveyard.
That'd be kind of cool. Spot a constellation, get a buff or something.
I love this environment, and the fog on the ground is so.
Whoa, behind
What
you.
is that?
This is actually a really cool environment.
Oh my god.
Here,
Oh god.
I'll let you tank for a little bit.
All right. I have my active blocks up.
Oh boy.
There's a lot. Okay, he doesn't seem to be doing much damage to me, but of course it would normally consume stamina. Is that correct, Tread?
That depends. We're still kind of discussing our resource systems, but you know that is one thing that we could potentially explore.
Oh, don't stand in that.
Do you guys think zombies have too much health? I don't know, I'm still on the fence about this. These are tough zombies.
Oh no, what do those do? I know Doug and Chong were working on these zombies
Yeah.
using some of our new AI systems, right?
Don't stand in the green fire. Don't stand in the vomit.
Actually hurts a lot.
Let me see if I can generate
That zombie run animation.
some convictions. I have convictions.
I'm easily amused.
Oh, and now you can see because I have convictions, my cleansing wave actually bounced to an additional target. That's pretty
Hit all
awesome.
three of us that time.
Yeah, that's nice.
That is very nice. All right, let's keep moving forward. Did I hit all three of you guys? I have some. I notice I have some conviction buff on my life bar right now.
That fog looks so good. I love that fog.
Yeah, you hit one additional target for each stack you have.
Oh my god, you guys are hearing my steam, I think.
It should be hard to kill something that's already dead. Acknowledged.
Apologies. I'm sorry. I'm recording from home. Alright, here we go. There we go. Let's see if I can generate some more conviction. It worked. Well, these zombies aren't too bad. So the more convictions that I generate, the more amplified the abilities become. Is that right?
That is correct.
Ooh. I
And
like
obviously, as you know, we create more and more abilities. There will be more interactions. Right now, you know, you only see 4, but you know, the final kid will have way more than that going on.
I like the idea of bounty hunters being able to capture and return corrupted to the sentence by mayor or judge. They could eliminate the corruption by spending time in jail, in the stockades, or helping low levels, aka community service. I want a bounty hunt. I think bounty hunting sounds a lot of fun. Especially on the ship, where you could be like a pirate bounty hunting. But yeah, I agree with that sentence.
I'm gonna take my staff out. We must show these beings the way of the light. Talk to us a little bit about the way of the light, actually. How does radiant energy and energy subtypes work with regards to damage and creatures?
So
I admire that. That is so cool. This gets me excited just to explore the world of Vera.
basically we're gonna have different damage types, and certain damage types will be strong or weak against certain enemy types. So you'll have to be somewhat, you know, smart about who you're bringing where, or you know what kind of abilities or specs. You know, obviously you'll be able to do the content, but you'll have an easier time with certain contents, if you're using a certain spec over others. So, obviously we're going up against undead, and as is natural, they're probably going to be a little weaker against your holy magic than Keenan's nature
Look how good that looks, though.
element, for example.
Wow.
Kinda spooky, too.
Keenan, are you gonna let him talk to you about your nature like that?
It's a great comeback.
I do like
see.
that. I do
See
like
if it's
the.
weak.
I do like
When we
the,
go up against the air elementals, maybe Keenan's time will shine.
Oh, there you go. I like the actual different synergy between energy types and vulnerabilities of certain creatures.
There's actually a lot of mobs here.
Yeah, we should
Are
be
there?
careful before going forward. We got things behind.
Oh, okay, let's
Oh.
grab the things behind. Whoa, whoa! Did they aggro me because I'm a cleric? That was crazy. They kind of ran at me.
They might.
I think they were coming at me and you were just in their way.
Very interesting.
No one can land that hammer shot. It seems really hard to pull off. I'm gonna miss it so many times.
It's alright, we got this. Just have to move forward with caution. Alright, let's get these guys up here.
I should use them to generate some convictions, actually.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna hold DPS. It's not in my. It's not in my.
Not in your
programming.
nature. Oh no.
He's a pacifist.
I've got my DPS hat on.
Talk to us a little bit. Oh wait, are you
Now it's starting to look like a cemetery.
gonna pull here?
So I think they're seeing us from over here, trying to trick us and lure us into this
Oh
pack of
yeah.
wolves.
Oh no. Oh, they got
Oh,
you. They
my
tricked
My
you.
bad. They found me somehow.
It's alright.
Having to spend like 1 hour per level corruption in a jail stockade would be awesome. For public shaming, lol, you could throw a rotten fruit at them.
Bigger balls, more XP. All intentional. Alright, I set them up for a stun. Nice.
Perfect. Now talk to me a little bit about why that stun just happened.
I set it up with Whirlwind, and it applies the staggered effect, and Chains of Restraint will stun any targets under the staggered effect. So right now that's one particular synergy, but in the...
This looks like one of those spots where you would just grind forever for like experience or rare drops or something.
as the game continues to come together and you see more and more abilities,
I don't know if it's not landing or if we just can't see damage numbers. Or could also be he's not DPS main. I think he said he plays support.
there will be all kinds of ways to set up that that outcome.
So, what?
Even more.
Yeah, a lot of essentially the different combat mechanics that work between the different archetypes and classes rely on synergies in the progression of certain types of status effects, right?
That's correct.
Oh,
And
there's
this-
a range pub.
This, of course, emphasizes the need for certain party compositions to exist so that players can make sure they utilize the strengths of their different types of status conditions. And the example we're showing here, obviously, is the progression of... Whoops, sorry. Is the progression of the staggered condition into the stunned. We might need to find a place to rest here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I need.
let's move forward up this way.
Maybe right like up here.
Let's
near
hit
this
this pack
tree.
of wolves.
We got one zombie coming in from behind.
That's all right. Let's take a bit.
You want to grab these wolves?
Yep.
And you'll see because they're stunned, the chains actually go through the body.
I feel like that hammer ability needs to be looked at. It doesn't feel like it lands properly.
Kind of cool. What about right here? Can we rest here?
Let's
Maybe.
move up the stairs a little bit just so we don't catch a respawn on the wolves too.
Okay. Can we take a seat
So,
maybe up here? Right here?
Yeah.
Let's sit down.
Hopefully the zombies don't follow us too far.
I'm gonna take a seat.
I think we have aggro still.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
do we?
coming for us.
Are they? Oh no. Okay. All right. Keenan, you need some mana.
I know.
This is like one of my raid groups. I'm gonna sit down. No, there's an entire aggro army heading our way. Please do not sit down.
Take a break after we get these guys down.
There we go.
The last wave, I promise.
Oh. Apologies.
Can't use my abilities.
Oh no. If I was a bit higher level, I could help you regenerate your mana.
Yeah, one thing we should be doing is focus firing these guys. One aspect of the zombies is they have more health regen than your standard mob.
Oh, well that's it. Okay.
And
Make
so
one unleashed.
Alright,
one good
see.
strategy against them is to burst them down.
let's rest right up here.
Whoa,
just
careful.
before we go.
Yeah, there's some
Okay.
mobs right up there. Right here. Right here's
I'm
good.
in-
Right
Okay, I'm
here.
just gonna rest. Oh, there we go. This has been a frightful journey, actually.
Yeah, and one
Although
good thing
beautiful.
about this is, yeah, you can see Keenan's mana was a little low there, and so as you know, a classic MMO thing to do is to sit and rest as you get your resources back.
Now, what if you have certain types of items that you could use, like a campfire?
It's not common knowledge to go at the top or mid of the stairs to rest. I mean, I rest in the middle of a staircase.
Or some type of, you know...
Just stand on the side so you're not in anyone's way who's trying to step up as well.
bedding or something? That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
It would be cool. I like the subtle...
Do you know what race, node, type, professions you will pick? I'm going to make a sexy redhead barbarian chick with a big-ass anime sword. Don't judge my loneliness.
fog that's just flowing through. It's
The rain
very
is nice
eerie.
too.
Yeah, the rain is nice. I like the sound. Look at those old lampposts. I think that's been in the game since 2017.
Oh,
Although it looks like the materials might have gotten updated. All right,
I'm feeling
ready.
refreshed.
should we?
All right, so we've got a group right ahead of us here.
Leroy! Oh god.
Oh,
No, no, no. Not like this.
all right.
Oh no, no, you're dead.
gotta get
You are going to die. There is nothing I can do for you. Oh my god.
Focus the scholars.
There's
the zombies
more of
already
them.
down.
the scholars first.
This is like a raid.
Why is there so many?
Character customization looks great. Yeah, no, that's what got me into Ashes in the first place. Made a video about character creation and my channel blew up.
That's all right. 3 down.
Skinwalker.
All right,
No,
drop
this,
the stun.
this in the back. Oh, stun. I can't.
Well, not blow up, but it started to grow from that video.
It's on cooldown. Okay, here it comes. Oh my god, there's dogs.
Ambush. Wolf
Houston?
zombie ambush.
Houston?
They're working together.
Oh, I almost got stuck in between all of them too. That was terrible.
Boom.
Hey, we actually handled that not too bad.
We got it.
That was
All
close.
right. I think we want to go this way, right?
I love how they come out of the ground without warning. Yeah, no, I kind of like that too.
Yeah, I'm super slow though. They put some type of plague debuff on me.
Last time we got lost in here, it was a rough time.
Now, remember, we're looking for a particular type of constellation. I believe the ancient scholars of the Vec refer to it as the Great Sundal. Whoops, I totally misfired that.
Rip.
Nobody look. Nobody look. Oh, these zombies look great though. Keenan, I have to say, you are doing a great job with the ranger. Well done.
Carrying the
thank you.
group.
Yeah, you are carrying us. Where are we headed?
I'm just running, man.
This is like a giant complex of undead. Speaking of undead, this is the first time I think we've ever shown undead in Ashes. In fact, these particular undead are a result, I believe, for those of you who were watching the live stream, of the Wreckage of Carfin, the event that occurred there just before the exodus from Vera all those years ago. Now, where are we?
The environment kind of reminds me of Limgrave from Elden Ring.
Another Skinwalker.
That has nothing to do with anything. I was just thinking, this kind of reminds me of Limgrave.
This is an ominous passageway. I don't trust.
This game has so many variables, I can't wait to play. Will players run straight to the castles and build up regular modes first? So many questions. Yeah, I imagine. I also think a lot of people are just gonna grab an axe and cut down the tree. I can see so many people just like fighting over the first tree chop.
I like it.
And then there's a big old war over the tree chop, and that's how Ashes starts. They call it the Tree Chop Wars.
I also love the light effect that it has on my... What is the name of this set? This is like the Vindictus, is it? You guys know?
Man.
Oh, that armor set?
Yeah. You know, we probably have already shown it on the stream. So all of you... Well, we will show you. But I believe it's the Imperius and Vindictus or something along those lines.
Yeah, that sounds right. It's a very Latin-sounding name, whatever it is.
Latin? What is Latin? This is Vera. Oh, my
coming up from the
god.
ground.
Keenan, I think you just summoned those with your sniper ability.
They felt the nature.
Alright. Generate some more convictions here.
PvE players eat your heart out.
There you go.
That zombie's kind of winning that fight.
I murdered it.
A little bit of help from me.
A little bit. Oh, was that you doing that damage? I thought that was all me.
Definitely me.
That sucks.
Gotta keep the healer safe.
Yes. That is true. That is the primary role and responsibility of your archetype. Keep me safe. Ooh. I like how they kind of pounce at you. That's their opening attack?
I think so.
You see now the effect has staggered applied instead of stun. Because I did not use it at the right time with my fighter. Alright, we're coming up across a bridge, it looks like.
Should we rest? Maybe
Yes.
risky with the
Yeah, that's a
respawns.
good idea.
If we rest, we should probably move off to the side over here.
Where?
Want to take a seat by the little
Kenan's
river
like,
over
nope, I'm gonna rest right in the middle of the road.
Gotta get those
here?
ticks.
Sit by the river. It's a nice little spot.
Yeah, it is a nice spot.
I don't
So-
trust
Do you heal as you sit? Or is it just like an RP thing?
the water.
Why?
Just
Nothing
admiring
bad
the
happens
rain.
in the water.
No, his mana's going up, so I don't know if it's like a out of combat thing or if it's like a sit thing specifically.
It's just
No.
the depths. Think of all the secrets that the depths contain.
Perfectly safe, dark rivers in fantasy games.
A zombie's totally not going to jump out of there and eat me alive.
Out of the water?
No, that would never happen.
Now remember, for those of you who are watching during the Extra Life event, the Tower of Carfen actually rests upon a river. And some of the energies that were created when Lamont actually did the...
Uh-oh.
God. Oh, they're shooting like necrotic bolt.
These guys can't take a break.
Oh, I didn't trust
bad
the
idea.
river.
Oh god, there's so many.
There's a lot.
I'm on the lamppost.
Oh, make sure you
Start
stay over near
dropping
me.
it.
Where are you, Dread?
I'm still
Got
down
you.
here on the beach. Here I am.
I got you. There we go. We should probably get up onto this bridge.
Yeah. I'm just trying to finish off this zombie first.
I'm on the
He's gonna
bridge.
regen. Alright, he's down.
Oh no.
Alright, let's get these two guys.
But as I was saying, the Tower of Carfen event, that actually trickled out through the Riverlands because of the rivers. And the undead began to form around these rivers. But you'll learn more about that during the story arc. Ooh. That was a nice little...
Let's stun these scholars real quick. Oh, they're dead. Never mind.
Got him.
Picking them up.
I do hope Ashes has some type of a MSQ to follow. Because I kind of don't like, here's your MMO, go have fun, try to figure out what to do. I kind of like having like a quest to guide me through it. Not to handhold me through it, but just to give me some direction. But that's just me.
I'm off.
Ranger's doing work.
Let's go off to the side.
Pumping.
What is up there?
Oh, that
it's
looks like something different.
Graveyard Golem. Go fight it, guys.
some type of little golem. Oh god.
So-
That is not a little golem.
Oh no.
Oh, no. No, no.
It looks like a little boss fight.
Oh no! Oh, this guy's not that bad.
I'm stunned.
Oh, he
no.
stunned me!
Oh no.
What was
Spoke too
this?
soon.
Get out of here.
Alright, we got more company.
That guy was
They're
weak.
lagging behind a little bit.
Cannot challenge me! Walk in the light! Okay, they're challenging me slightly.
At this point, I'm not even here for the cleric. I'm just watching like the combat itself and seeing how Ashes is gonna feel.
There we go.
And so far, it's giving me like a New World Guild Wars vibe, especially Guild Wars with the combat. There's like action combat, pseudo tab targeting, pseudo action. That's what it's reminding me so far, and it's kind of a good mix. I think the direction will be all about harvesting and becoming a citizen first. I want Freehold Tavern, Inn, or Farm. Haven't decided yet. I think I'd take a farm.
We did it. We've done it. So the active block actually works with any weapon equipped, is that correct? Except for ranged? Oops. Chad, you there?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you could active block. One thing that we're kind of toying around with the idea of is giving everybody a universal active block mechanic. In which case, you know, the shield version would probably be better, but you'd still be able to parry or
Everything else, but the cleric is dope.
whatnot with a two-handed weapon or even maybe dual wield.
Oh, that's pretty cool. We need to find this Sandal.
I hope somewhere in the world there's like a crypt, and then this crypt goes down into like a little dungeon. Kind of like, crap, what is it? Duskwood in World of Warcraft. I think it was called a Raven something something. And there's like a big old cemetery in Duskward, and then there's a crypt in the back of the cemetery. And then it goes into its big dungeon. I hope there's something like that in Ashes. Duskwood was still one of my favorite experiences in all of World of Warcraft. But you're not here for Warcraft talk, you're here for Ashes.
It's supposed to be kind of up near... Wait, maybe we need to go back a little bit. I
We
think
got respawn.
No, respawn? Hold on, let's go over this way. I remember I was told that it was before this bridge.
That wolf came out of nowhere.
Okay, let's just run through if we can. I want to try to find the Sandal. Just keep on moving.
That's how I play World of Warcraft, is just keep moving.
Oh, don't die.
And New World.
Okay. Hold on.
I've been playing a lot of New World recently, in between my breaks of Dragonflight, and I really think if you want a Ashes experience before Ashes comes out, I think New World and BDO might be the closest things to it.
We're good.
Oh God.
Are you
we?
surviving? Yeah, I
Are
think
we?
so.
I mean, we'll be fine except for the wolves.
I set
We'll be
my
like-
speed a little bit higher.
Cheater.
It's
Oh no.
okay. What's happening?
It's definitely a cleric buff, right?
Yes, exactly.
It's
Here,
a speed
actually,
buff provided by the ranger.
see that? And all right, like my speed. Hold
Alright, we can
on.
take these guys. Zombies are way behind.
All right, I'm ready. Easy peasy. Oh my God.
They're never ending. Keep running.
I think. Hold on, we gotta go up here. We gotta.
These guys would have got so much experience with all this grinding they've been doing.
Here.
Up these stairs.
Yeah, up these stairs. Okay, up. Good. We're up here.
If I ever build one of my own MMOs, I'm gonna have a raid that's like a city cemetery where it's a cemetery, but it's a whole city. And yeah, it'd be a whole raid.
Hold on. I might need some help up here, though. Let me see if it's ever... Sorry, guys, I just want
I'll call it City of Tombs.
to make sure we can find the sandal. Maybe he meant before the bridge, like before the bridge into the cemetery.
Maybe.
Oh, I made it on top of the light post, actually. Oh, yeah, there we go. Now this is tranquil. Like a true cleric. Don't die, I'm not with you guys, by the way. Ooh, wait, nope.
I don't even know where you went.
Yeah,
we
me
lost our healer. We're screwed.
No,
I would have just stayed on the pole. I feel like he would have been safe up there.
oh, we're good. You guys just come out the front.
Oh, I see you down there. Let's jump, let's
We
jump.
can't end the stream unless I find the sandal.
Jump down, Keenan.
Oh God.
He's getting swarmed.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting swarmed.
Oh jeez.
I'll save you.
Here. It's the least I can do.
Oh shoot, I'm ooned.
And the zombies are coming.
Oh no, keep going. Wait, it was definitely at the entrance. Guys, I'm so sorry for this. I'm so sorry, stream. I'm so sorry. I can't not show the sandal. I totally messed up where now you know we don't cut these or edit them, they're just
They are.
And I respect that they do that. How they don't edit the gameplay to make it look cool. They just show you what the game is for what it is. So that way you get a raw, basic feel of what it is, and I respect that. I wish more devs would actually do that. you remember when EA would do like their cringy scripted trailers?
Are what they are.
Yeah, I'm glad these guys don't do that.
This is such a typical MMO adventure. It's like getting lost in a dungeon area.
Healer body pulls.
All right. There we go. We're good. I think so. Oh, okay, we made it out here. I can see the stars again. So you guys can see that there are certain environments that will just prevent you from being able to look up into the sky for some of these constellations. All right, now we're looking towards. Oh, wait, we're supposed to look towards that moon. Oh, I found it. We found the Sandal. There it is. Yes.
That's hilarious.
Are you dying? Don't die. And there is the Sandal, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I hope that you all have enjoyed this sneak peek at one of the areas in the Riverlands, and also some of the updates to the yeah, let's take a seat. Let's take a seat. And also some of the updates to the cleric, as well as you can see there's some UI here between the icons and the mini-map, as well as the targeting and party UI that we'd love your guys' feedback on. You also got to hear a little bit about the night and day cycle, see some of the updates to the mace and shield as well as the staff, and also learn a little bit more about undead and the energy types that occur and synergies especially between certain types of status conditions and effects that might exist in Ashes of Creations. With all of that being said, I would love to hear your guys' feedback on what you saw today. Make sure you guys go and visit the forums, our Twitter.
Honestly, my biggest takeaways were I thought the combat looked really good. I think it looks like a mix of Guild Wars and a bit of New World, which I'm fine with that combination. I don't care much for healer classes because I just don't play them. But that being said, if you are a healer main, you probably went ecstatic for this video. I will say, the combat did look good from what I've seen here. I don't have a problem with it. And, yeah, I'm trying to think of things to critique in case the dev team does see this. And I would say, I think I actually don't know. I don't have a critique. I'll think of it later when I'm not on the spot. Has any game ever been so open with their development? I think it's great and helps with the final product. If you want to be surprised, then don't watch the development and wait for a full release. Yeah, I agree with that statement.
Twitter, our Reddit, comment in the YouTube videos. Give us what your thoughts are about what you saw today. As always, remember, this is a work in progress. We are working towards Alpha 2, but you get to see a little bit every step of the way each month. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Trad, Keenan, thank you for joining us. That was super fun, and I'm surprised we actually didn't die.
Same.
It was fun. We did.
Thanks for having us.
Yes. Yep. We'll see you guys back on stream.
Well, hopefully you all enjoyed that.
We found the Sandal!
Who else was checking their Steam updates when they heard the notification?
I remembered that happened when we were recording it, and then when it happened on the stream, I looked on my computer and I was like, I don't have Steam installed on this computer. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry.
But of course, I did grab a bunch of questions, and I believe Roshan added some extra ones in here as well from, because they're doing a watch party as well. And
nice.
I always keep an eye on Discord. I always keep an eye on Twitch, so there's a mix of them in there. But first, I wanted to address that. Obviously, I think we prefaced this, and we said it multiple times, and even Steven said it in the video.
Even Steven.
Well, even Steven. That this is a work in progress. So things like the cape clipping.
As in, don't judge. Oh, cape clipping. Oh, well, I called them out on that too.
Running animations, bloom, loot, nameplates, all those things are work in progress. So just I want to reiterate that and your concerns right off the bat in regards to that. And also the camera
Yeah.
angle. Steven likes a really wide camera angle. You can zoom in
Yes,
if
I
that's the
do.
POV you prefer. I saw a lot of people being like, I don't like this POV. And he was zooming in showing that.
I am a big fan of super zoomed out. But also another point is this is
I kind of like super zoomed in, unless if I'm in a raid, where I need to see everything around me. But other than that, I kind of like over the shoulder.
keeping in context. This is level 14, level 15 gameplay. That's one thing, and I did note a couple things, and these are the reasons why, of course, we present you guys with these monthly updates, is because we want your feedback on things like I saw a lot of commentary about the nighttime and how dark exactly nighttime should be. Now, of course, darkness when it comes to night-day cycles in games accommodates different types of games, different genres, different mechanics. In more survival-oriented games, you're expected to have really dark nighttime.
I do think the extreme of the extreme fans are a bit too picky, saying night should be darker, because I think there's a gameplay element to that. Like, as a guy who's been camping, as a guy who's seen the forest at night, it is pitch black and you do need a flashlight. That would not be fun to play with in an MMO when you're out and exploring, right? So you do have to suspend disbelief a little bit in order for the gameplay to be good, because you don't want an actual forest to be pitch black forest at night. That would not be fun for anyone. Maybe a sort of mechanic where you have a light and you gotta... It'd be more annoying than anything else.
Games, because you utilize instruments like torches and lights that can be present. But when
Maybe a dungeon mechanic or something, but yeah.
you think about an MMORPG,
Jarrett Negron, who I've never seen in my chat, welcome. I've never really had any problems with the brightness at night shown at all. I don't know why people were throwing a fit. That's exactly how I feel right now. It's like, you do not want a pitch black game. Unless if it's like a dungeon mechanic and you gotta get through or something.
and you think
Gameplay should always come first, period. I agree with that. But I want to be a murder hobo and run away in the dark.
about the types of player numbers and player count you're expected to have in certain locations and dungeons, right? That needs to, you need to be able to accommodate those types of visibility lines and those mechanics around that large multiplayer environment. So when you guys are giving feedback, think about whether or not you want the outside nighttime to really be very dark, or if you want that to be reserved for specific locations in the game, like certain dungeons and towers where we can't
That's exactly what I just said. I'm glad we're on the same page.
utilize mechanics like different types of lighting mechanisms in order to facilitate that more dark feel. Another thing that I saw was questions regarding the sit emotion, the sit emote. So this is something that, you know, design has gone back and forth on over the
Ocean at night will be interesting, playing cat and mouse with other ships.
course of
That'd be kind of cool, actually.
the last year or so, with regards to whether or not we should have a sit function that actually increases the mana regen or not. Now, obviously, that's a throwback to more classic days of MMORPG gameplay, but leave your comments on that thought about that as well. And then one thing
I think that's kind of cool. If you sit and then you slowly heal up, I'm okay with that. I'm on team sit.
want to note is I traditionally play or have played a tank. Not usually. I mean, I also I played like a tank healer a lot of times. So that's why you saw. That's why you saw me pulling a lot, and I apologize for that. I noticed somebody said that I need to have a child safety leash on me as the healer. I was laughing so hard.
People were like,
Oh,
Steven's
so
that guy
good.
who is like body pulling as a cleric because they're like bored, and then they pull all the mobs, and you're like, I can't handle this, and then we all die.
So it
That's totally me. I pull.
was so great. That was great.
All right, is it okay if I grab some
Yeah,
extra questions
absolutely.
here and stuff?
Yeah. Oh, and one last thing is
oh, go
this
ahead.
will be up on YouTube right after the stream, so you can go watch it in its higher quality setting on YouTube. Obviously on stream, you know, we there's a little bit of a quality difference there for the stream, but yeah.
For sure. We can only upload or we can only have so high of bit rate. They like cap us, so.
Oh yeah.
Sorry about that. But of course, the next one here that I wanted to talk about that was more of a general thing was from Kern Saifi 123, and they were asking, will you be using 5.1? for Unreal
Yes,
Engine?
actually, we are moving over to 5.1. That should be complete in January.
And then moving on, we're going to talk about a few cleric questions, and you already answered one of them that was on this list. So first, can you explain a little bit more about the staggering and how status effects stagger and stun and that whole interaction works?
I can. I need to plug my headset in because it's dying. Apologies. Yes.
Okay.
So staggering is a type of status condition that can be applied through certain skills, and the type of synergy systems we're going for is that certain archetypes and class kits will have access to a number of what we call first tier status conditions. Those
I think one of my biggest fears about Ash is just like, oh, this mechanic, this mechanic, this mechanic, and it's so many mechanics that it's a big lake, but the water isn't deep. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have Destiny. Destiny is a perfect example on how Destiny has everything for everyone, but none of those systems are deep enough to dive into. That's just a worry. It's not a critique yet. It's not anything to, I'm just like one of my personal things.
Those types of status conditions are general status conditions that can be applied across a host of skills and a number of different archetypes and class kits, and they can progress when synergized with other types of status conditions or abilities to tier 2 level status effects. And so, for example, you saw that one of the abilities that the cleric has at level 15 is the Chains of Restraint. And when the Chains of Restraint lays down that AoE, of course it ticks for damage over time, but it also applies the stagger condition. However, if the target was already subject to the staggered condition, then it gets promoted to a stunned condition. Now, the difference between staggered and stun, in a staggered state, the creature may not use abilities. They can do basic attack functions. They could cast spells if they had access to spells, but their physical abilities would be muted or would be essentially inaccessible during the staggered effect. Now, a stun condition obviously is a more amplified status condition where you cannot take any actions. And so the fighter's ability, Whirlwind, had a staggered application available to it. So when the cleric chooses to use its Chains of Restraint ability, if they use it after the fighter applies their staggered condition, then the change will force a stun effect.
All right, and then folks are wondering, will those stuns work on all enemy types, or will there be ones that will be specific to certain types of animal or creatures? I don't know why I said animals.
Generally, status conditions will apply to all creature
So, thinking about Pokemon.
and player type.
Looking forward to Tears of Kingdom and Starfield also. Good games coming. I've never heard of Tears of the Kingdom. But I'm excited for Throne and Liberty. I'm excited for Blue Protocol. I'm going to watch the Game Awards and see what trailers drop there. I might stream the Game Awards. I don't give a crap about the Game Awards. Like, I don't care what's Game of the Year or Best Soundtrack of the Year. It's just not my cup of tea anymore. But that being said, the Game Awards is a great place for some game reveals. And I'm personally hoping for a Transformers looter shooter that's been rumored. But anyways, let's get back to Ashes.
There are, of course, some creatures such as bosses and/or raid bosses that have very high resistances or cannot be affected by certain status conditions. In that case, obviously, those status effects will not apply, but the rest of the skills ability will, like the damage.
And a follow-up to that, will those things stack? So if I'm, a fighter and I put certain effect on something and someone else is also a fighter and puts that effect on, do those things now stack?
It depends. There's unique rules with regards to stacking based on the type of status condition. So in the event that the status condition may not stack, we have certain stacking rules that might increase the longevity of the status condition with the second application. But it's important to note that we do have the concept of diminishing returns, and that certain types of status conditions share certain diminishing return groupings, so that obviously a character can't be like stun locked or silence locked or just a particular type of status condition lock.
All right. And then Dale Splight would like to know, can you cast in movement or do you have to stand still? And I saw quite a few people mentioning this.
Most abilities you'll find in Ashes of Creation are capable of being cast while moving.
Thank you. Also, I've been notified that the Tears of the Kingdom is a Zelda sequel. Very few people will min-max the sit feature. Let them do it. Don't remove something for everyone just because 1% of the players will get tiny advantage if they want to do extra. Warcraft is terrible with this. So is Destiny, how they took out secret missions because they were getting data mined. And it feels like you're punishing a whole community for a select few, right? And it's like your point, Jarrett, where it's like, don't punish the whole community for 1%.
Some of those abilities might slow your movement during the cast, but you can continue to move. Very rarely, and depending on obviously the importance of the ability or the power level of that ability, you might be rooted in place. So for example, the AoE ability has a lot going on. It has damage ticking over time. It is an area of effect. It also has a status condition application. And in those instances, the player character gets rooted.
And I saw quite a few folks asking this, but Falcon Swiftblade asked, is Steven using mouse overcasting? Can we hover over players also? So what are the ways that I can interact UI-wise in order to heal as a healer?
Absolutely. So one of the big goals of our UI team is to, and our design team, is to accommodate a whole host of different types of user options that they're capable of setting.
Including controller?
Because we all have different play styles. And in that regard, those include things like hover overcasting, double tap application of AoE effects on cursor, location, just a lot of different options because people like to play different ways.
Yeah, you could.
Like controller support? Maybe? I like controller support. I would be over the moon if they allowed me to play with a controller. But I highly doubt it.
Set those things up in your key bindings and setups, correct? Well, eventually. And then the other thing that people were asking is, can you heal enemy mobs? That was a frequent thing I saw.
Yeah, you cannot heal enemy mobs. There's just really not a relevant use case for that when it comes to the design mechanics of such a thing, other than its primary use, which would be to grief other players. I have a funny story. In Lineage 2, I used to play a zombie. I used to play sort of a zombie.
I want Ashes on console so I can relax and play on my OLED TV. Yeah, no, that's exactly it too. It's just like I feel more relaxed with the controller. There are some games that work better on mouse and key, Like I'm playing New World right now, and it works pretty good on mouse and key without putting in a lot of effort. But when Warcraft put in controller support, it clicked really well. The Blizzard team did really good at porting that to controller, and it still feels good. I played Terra on the Xbox, and I did really high-end content on controller. Black Desert is almost built for controller, and I feel like Ashes could work. If Terra worked, I feel like Ashes can too.
To play a bishop, and the bishop had an ability called Restore Life, and we had an enemy alliance that we had fought for many years. It was a very two-sided server, and there was a particular raid boss called Antheris that actually took hours sometimes to complete. And I managed to get into the area, and right when they have been fighting that boss for about 4 hours, I made it close enough to cast Restore Life on the Antheris boss, and I put it back to 70% of its health. And they had to keep
I play ESO on Xbox. Yeah, that's where I played it too.
The
fighting it.
griefing.
They're
Grief
griefing
Lord.
so much. But you know what? They did it to us first. But regardless, it's just that type of mechanic just doesn't really make sense.
Don't
so-
put your fork at us. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, I have a fork. I don't know. I was playing with something. Lunch
just
just got
kidding.
here.
But yeah, I think there were definitely people who didn't like it, and some people who did want it. So I just wanted to clarify to folks. And then the next thing is Tryndamere would like to know whether you'd be able to heal yourself as like other archetypes, like a paladin or something of that sort, or class types.
Yeah, I mean, it depends obviously on the secondary class selection. No one is going to fill the role of a primary healer other than the healer archetype. But there will be secondary class options that you can select, which will provide you with some level of sustainability and or restoration. Most of that will be centralized to yourself, especially in the case of a paladin.
And then, of course, Blue Wheel would like to know if we'll see more nameplates and health bars in order, like in the world, in the 3D
Yeah,
world.
I chose the option during this recording to remove player character nameplates. I find it, for my personal preference, that it's a bit more cinematic when it comes to immersion in the world. Now, obviously, to that question, yes, there's going to be plenty of options when it comes to showcasing player nameplates. You can resize all the UI elements that you see on screen here. I forgot to kind of show that. That's my bad. But you can also select party nameplate, raid nameplate, specialization, showing the hit point bar under the nameplate. There's going to be a whole host of options that players have access to from a UI perspective.
And then Ziozara would like to know if there will be special area buffs that you can use as a support. For example, in certain dungeons, like you have to buff everybody up and it'll last for that dungeon, things of that sort.
Oh yeah, we haven't even shown the Bard archetype yet, but it
I want to see an Ashes dungeon, honestly.
along with other classes will have certain types of self buffs and party buffs. Obviously at level 14-15 that's not going to be too much that's available there. There will be a number of them, but not as much as obviously level 50, where our maximum buff bar allotment I think is somewhere around like 20 some odd buffs that can be on a particular character at one time. That includes things like songs, stories, and dances from the Bard. But yeah.
Get ready for raid buffs. Meet up for the raid buffs at X time. Of course, Pwog would like to know, is there a shield charge? Like a charge up for the shield?
A shield charge.
Yeah.
Thank you. You actually reminded me of something else I'd not noted down. I saw a lot of commentary around stamina. That is an active design discussion with how we're going to have certain universal abilities such as dodge and active blocking utilize a separate energy mechanic. If you guys have thoughts on stamina usage, it is something that we are going to be actively testing as part of Alpha 2. Make sure you guys leave commentary on what you've liked about stamina in the past with other games and what you've disliked about it.
And then Vintali wants to know, it seems like the enemy health and difficulty that was seen, or that they've seen so far in all of our dev updates, seems a little
Ow.
easy. They were wondering if we are going to be kind of working out the balancing for these encounters.
Oh yeah.
Because they said
Yeah,
as a
so-
trio, they would expect it to be a little bit more dangerous.
Yeah, something to keep in mind is that Alpha 2 is not really intended to be especially what you're seeing at this stage right now before Alpha 2, is not meant to showcase kind of balancing from an engagement or encounter perspective. Obviously, we do a finger in the wind kind of balance pass, but a lot of that stuff from our encounters team doesn't get done until populations are kind of in place.
Basically, what he's saying is Alpha's not the game itself. Alpha is just a test to make sure everything works. Make sure you're not clipping through walls. Make sure you're not jumping to the moon or anything like that. Alpha is a test. And then beta becomes closer to a game. And then on release, that's when it's the game. And that's when they do all the balancing, the patching, and all that other stuff.
And those encounter designs get a little bit more time to bake. So stand by on that for Alpha 2 as we get a little bit deeper into the testing to get touched up. But just to give you context, the intent is that Ashes of Creation will be on the higher side of difficulty when it comes to engagements.
Right. And before I get into day-night cycle questions, this last one is from Ansaboy, and they want to know,
So, I don't think Ashes is going to be a casual game. I think it's going to be pretty hardcore.
some abilities going to have voiceovers when casting, like grunts and things of that sort?
Yeah, like incantations and stuff. You know, that's the desire. Kat has done a phenomenal job so far with the sound design. As I saw a lot of commentary about it during the video and the previous videos. Some of the casting abilities will have incantations that are done, but we have not had the ability to implement that yet.
All right. And then moving on to day-night stuff. We had Radgal who wants to know, is the day-night cycle tied to server time?
The day-night cycle is tied to server time. Yes, so there is a number of hours that exist between each of the cycles. That's
Day-night thing, I think it's cool. But at the same time, it's not a huge selling point for me. I just think it's cool.
something that will be fine-tuning, of course, during Alpha 2 as well.
It's like, why should I buy Ashes? Oh, because it has a day-night cycle. Like, okay, cool.
But it is intended for players to kind of interact with certain systems even based on in-game time as well. So, yeah.
And then Gnome Berserker would like to know, are there going to be different light levels tied to time of day / environment or moons, etc.? So I guess like different, I'm not sure exactly what they mean by that, but potentially different sky levels maybe in different areas.
You know, generally you can see here that the lighting levels you know, are pretty consistent. That is from a game mechanic perspective. Of course, the visual setting changes. The type of lighting you're seeing here changes based on night and day. And that's, I think, related to the first thing I brought up, which is what we want commentary back on, is, you know, what is the level of luminosity that's desired when it comes to MMOR?
I do think it should be like a night goes to dawn into day, and then day into dusk, and then dusk into night. I think that's what the dude is trying to ask, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
RPG open world gameplay. Not talking about specific points of interest like dungeons and or towers, locations where we can restrict that level lighting to something a bit darker, but the general open world outside experience, that's something where it's possible for a lot of players to kind of converge in a particular location. It would be really odd if the night cycle included a significant decrease in visibility and you're running into those types of environments. That's something a bit more reminiscent of of survival-styled games. So leave your commentary on what you've enjoyed about that, what you know want to see in Ashes of Creation, or see differently between those types of settings.
And then Balanzon of fans would like to know, do constellations rise and set, and do those times rotate?
Yes. So constellations, as you could see with the sky, some of those moons being in different positions, they do rotate and change throughout the night.
Not that you guys care, but my foot is itching.
That is the intent for them. And of course, they have wide application across a number of systems that are relevant, including story and narrative, and the acquisition of certain types of things in the game.
And then Drew Guy wants to know, does nighttime boost power of undead?
Certain creatures will react differently. Certain spawns will react differently during night times and different day-night cycles. Those might also influence things like...
I hope there are moon cycles. That'd be cool. Like a full moon, half moon, a crescent moon. I think that'd be cool.
abilities and or buffs / debuffs / vulnerabilities. You'll have to find out based on the type of creature you're experiencing.
All right, and there's a lot of questions. I know we could sit here and answer a million, but those are the ones that I saw most frequently and that we've gathered for this time frame. We know that if you have follow-up questions, you know where to find us. But of course, we do have 2 threads that are going up on our forums if you want to go check that out. And one will be about the cleric and weapon updates, and the other one will be the day and night cycles constellation. So please send us your feedback.
Blood moon that spawns a badass enemy, like Breath of the Wild, where once in a while the blood moon comes out and everyone gets really hard to beat. I think that'd be cool. That's what you're talking about, right?
Back over there, there's little prompts, but you don't have to necessarily follow those. You can just give us all your thoughts on those. We'll be consolidating feedback reports on those. I think the due date on there is listed as well, so please get your feedback in as quickly as possible. That's super handy for us, so that we can then relay that back to the developers and make sure that we're incorporating and thinking about those things as we move forward. And usually we find that we're on the same page as y'all, so that's reassuring.
By the way, I just want to do a little call out to
go for it.
Mike Vecchio.
Oh yeah, Mike Vecchio is awesome.
He made this really cool...
Troll.
No, it's a troll sitting on top of a particular type of skull.
In
celebration of the cemetery and undead video today, and it has this little guy for Christmas in his cute little hat.
That thing looks like something from a Tim Burton movie.
The joyous artillery sitting on a cyclops skull.
All he needs is some
so
fireworks.
Great. This thing is so cool. I love it.
That is sick.
That's
I
so
want
good.
one.
I know.
But of course we have more. There's more.
That works too. Not just enemies get harder, but I was thinking a special boss enemy too. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. That'd be fun.
So we're gonna go through the character stuff. Obviously, you guys have seen this before. This is a little updated version of the 2-handed staff and the 1-handed shield and mace. But we also have another version of this, so you can kind of see. You saw this also in the game with Steven's character. He was holding on to these and utilizing them.
Yeah, and these, obviously, you can see by the quality of these types of weapons, these are relatively lower level. These are some of the earliest types of weapons and or gear that you can acquire within Ashes of Creation. But they look oh so cool.
Yeah. And then we've got, we showed you the bandit slaver. Now we got a little goblin slaver. So this is kind of the work in progress. This is the model. And then, bam. Looks
Yes.
awesome.
So let me tell you a little bit of history / context for this particular goblin
I think that sleeve armor looks really slick.
flavor. One of the starting areas in Ashes of Creation is the old Aelin capital city, which I believe we started in our campaign for Extra Life this last month. But as players kind of return, you have to be careful because certain types of in-world settings based on story progression of certain story arcs might result in some of these slavers coming in around that starting area. And these slavers have a particular type of interaction mechanic where instead of killing the player, they can subdue the player, drag them to a cage, and then there's a little mini game trying to get out of the cage, or other players can try to get you out of their cage, right? Because they're capturing you to try to take you up to be, slaves. So what do you guys feel about those types of mechanics that are unique, where the where the monsters can take you and pull you into a
I think it's a bit too much, maybe? I don't know.
cage? But that's what these guys do. They're set up to do in the starting area. Give us your feedback on that too.
Yes, yes.
Maybe if they, like, beat you and then they carry you away into a game over screen or throw you in jail. Okay, so maybe they get you and then they throw you in jail and you gotta escape. That won't be too bad.
And you saw them in game, but the zombie shamblers, and I think we've shown them off before too, but little zhuzhing, little updates to them, looking pretty fab.
Yeah, you guys saw that in the video. This is a zombie scholar. I believe, was it?
Where did his boot go?
Jincy that worked on this one? I think Jincy
Yes,
worked on
Jincy worked on this. Yes,
Yes.
scholar, not shambler. Sorry.
Yes, this one's a scholar. He throws
And-
little necrotic bolts at you from a ranged distance.
Looks like he would shoot lasers at you, like plague
Oh, in his
lasers.
eyes?
Yeah. And then
and Chong and Doug set this up on the design encounter side that you guys saw in the video. They did a
we've
great
got
job with him.
the winter nith. I think, some of y'all-
What?
This is OG, so if you're somebody who has access to this bad
Yes, that was an old one. When was that?
boy. I think it was a long time ago. And then also, Stephen, I think there was one time where you're like, they used the winter nith's tears to do something. I can't remember what it was, but
That's how we create our. I thought it was. We said that was like the equivalent of gunpowder, or for the.
oh
potion
yeah, that's what
launcher.
it was. It was
The
using their
tears of the nymph or the nymph. Wait, what is it?
Nymph.
Nymph?
I don't know how it's NYTH. Nith.
Nymph.
You
Nymph.
guys made it. I
What
don't
did
know.
I say? I said nymph.
It was before my times. And then this one's super
Oh,
duper
and just real
cool.
quick, what
Oh,
I
go
would
ahead.
love for the NIF to have, if possible, on the animation side,
Okay,
is
animators.
those goats. Yes, animators. The goats that when you scare them, their legs lock up and they fall over. If
Oh.
that was just a just a little animation that this guy did, that'd be great. We said
Those ones are so funny. And then we also have this one that looks so cool. The Cultist. Do you want to give...
Okay, that's cool, actually. That is one of the coolest NPCs I've seen in a long time when it comes to Ashes of Creation.
a little lore to about the Cultist?
Sure,
and
yeah, I'd
show
be
off
happy
all
to.
the MP3s or MP4s.
Absolutely. So you'll notice that this guy has a particular type of tattoo on his back. You'll see that these are
He's got a particular set of skills.
obviously some type of human. Now, where did these cultists come from, right? Because the ancients have been on Vera for a long time, prior to your return. Excuse me. And it's important to note that players who are starting in the world of Vera, they're coming in actually a few short months after the very first expeditionaries were sent through the Divine Gateways when they opened from Sanctus. And the early days on Vera with the return were not super easy. They were difficult. There were struggles with the food supplies. There were a little bit of mutinies that occurred. There were certain artifacts that were found by some.
They have an extremely diverse array of NPC types. I don't know what other games have this kind of variety. No, I don't think. I'll think about it. But as of right now, I can't think of any. Maybe Final Fantasy 14. There are a lot of mob types in Final Fantasy 14. But that's still a maybe.
Some of these NPCs that were your predecessors in the return, and some of them decided that they would be better off on their own, or that they had a more powerful thing or creature that they could follow and be rewarded from. And some of them turned into cultists, and that's one of the cultists you see here. There's going to be some storylines that you're going to have to investigate on that front.
Yeah, they look pretty awesome.
Sorry.
And with that, do we have time to do some Q&A from the forums, Stephen?
But of
I know.
course. What time is it? Oh,
It is
12:20.
12:20.
I have a hard cutoff at 12:30. If we
Okay.
can,
I
yeah,
think we
10
can get
minutes.
through
Let's
them.
do some. I'll try
As
to
many as we
rapid,
can.
rapid response.
I don't think you could do that.
I will try. I did a bunch of. I was kind of rapid about the questions after the video.
Yeah, just kidding. Okay, we have Tyranthraxis over on the forums asked about lore. Are there any details about the 2B Varen gods' influence in our gameplay that you can share with or hint at?
You know, I really wouldn't want to do that because the stories that Scott and Wynn and Jeremy and Amy and you know, everyone and Tony are putting together are pretty compelling. They're pretty cool and rich, and I wouldn't want to ruin that. So I'll stay away from that. But I will give you context. The gods are an active part of the story, and you know, each of the cultures kind of have their own interpretation of the whims and desires and focuses of the gods. So
Awesome. Yeah, we tried, man. We were trying to get more stuff out of him. I know y'all want to know more lore about the gods.
they really don't want to.
I know, I
they
know.
want to, but they don't want me to tell them. They want to play it. So
Yeah, for sure.
you know, yeah.
He's like, this isn't really what you want. Nova Chrono wants to
You think you want it, but you don't.
know about large-scale combat. Have you given any thought towards adding debuff protection, such as having immunity to stuns for some seconds after having been stunned during a siege battle? And there was actually some questions
so-
regarding this beyond just sieges.
So just to be clear, what you're talking about is really called diminishing returns. And when it comes to status conditions, the ability to apply certain passive resistance to status conditions, if you've suffered from a status condition of a particular type, you get an increased resistance against those, and that scales. So if by chance you do get stunned maybe a couple of times, excuse me, it would be near impossible to stun you for a third or fourth time, right? And then you get to save that higher resistance for some period of time. And you know, that just makes the gameplay more compelling. We've played games where you can get stun locked, and that is a really bad feeling, and it's not even fun for the person who's doing the stun lock. It might be you know, yeah, it's just not a good, compelling type of gameplay. So in order to kind of avoid that, and to accommodate a massively multiplayer setting, you have to utilize things like.
I hope Ashes of Creation doesn't have an insane power creep over the years.
Like diminishing returns that can increase your resistances when you suffer those types of effects.
All right, cool. And then our next one is from Drunk Ninja asking about naval content. Will there be a way to produce enough experience for a node for those who want to spend the majority of their time on the open seas?
I'm so sorry. You have to repeat the first part of that because I was watching some of the trolls in chat saying it's incredibly fun. It's hilariously fun to stun lock an opponent.
Yeah,
It
they're
is
like,
not.
don't lie, we love it.
No,
It's fun
is
to do
not
it to
fun.
somebody. It's not fun to be the person who's like, oh my gosh, I can't do anything because I'm
It
stun
is-
locked.
If you have fun stun locking another player and then watching them die and being able to do nothing in response, you are not the right. You are not the right type of player. You want to have meaningful engagement and fun
I
back
think
and
some people
forth
like it,
and
though.
skill that's utilized to win an engagement, not just lock down an enemy because of bad game design.
All right, the question is to reiterate, Will there be a way to produce enough experience for a node for those who want to spend the majority of their time on the open seas? So really the question here is like, can I spend most of my time on the open seas and still help my node out?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, the open seas have a good amount of content, and that content when
I know I'm gonna spend a lot of time on the open seas. I'm gonna be up New World.
completed will give its contribution to a nearby node.
I haven't got too far in New World, actually, but I'm giving it a second chance, and I'm actually really enjoying it, even though I am stuck on a boss. So, that's fun.
And that is something that people who live on the sea or desire to live on the sea will be able to contribute in a way.
All right, and Dolium wants to know about taverns. What benefits do players receive for taking on the role of a tavern owner?
One, you will get noticeability with regards to your creations, because that will be displayed to the characters that consume those things. But in addition, you can get certain types of itemization rewards depending on the number of patrons that you serve. You can also reap economic rewards such as gold from the inn that you are selling your goods at. And then you can unlock access to certain types of recipes and or vendors based on the level of reputation you build up in that particular node.
People in chat are like, clout, free booze, tips. Church Place wants to know about gameplay development, which is an interesting one. Which game systems do you think present the biggest challenge to the Intrepid team in regards to construction, testing, implementation, and balance?
I guess it depends on the type of challenge we're talking about. From a feasibility standpoint, I think one of the challenges that is always going to accompany any multiplayer game development is going to be optimization around network layers and the ability to host a large number of concurrent multiplayers in a particular environment. That's always going to be something that any studio who's endeavoring to create a large multiplayer experience will need to focus on, and it's a challenging one. It is a difficult thing to accommodate.
Especially if you want a world where you're not doing instances.
Right, yeah, especially in an open world, right? That is absolutely true. Thank you. And then obviously when you're talking about MMORPG development, in order to create a compelling environment and to create a compelling world, you really have to have a lot of content. And that comes in the form of our large class selection, the ability creation pipeline, all the creatures that...
There will definitely be a lot of things to do in Ashes of Creation. I'll tell you that right now. You will never run out of things to do.
That need to be created, the NPCs, they all have abilities that need to be done. And our pipelines, there are different choke points that occur. Whether you're talking about a particular ability when it comes from the ideation phase into the GDD, into the functional design pass, to the animation and the iteration of the animations, and then finally moves on to VFX and sound design. There's a lot that needs to be done from a content generation perspective. And I'm just not talking about like storylines and quests and narrative. I'm talking about everything that you're seeing, from the armor sets to the creatures to the abilities to the visual effects to the animations to the world to the foliage. There's a lot of stuff that has to get done to create a compelling and immersive environment in a game like Ashes of Creation, and especially in a way that we're doing it from a transparent development process where people get to see these things in their very work in progress states. So content creation is always something that's going to be difficult when it comes to MMORPGs. I would say those are probably the two biggest challenges that any development faces.
Yeah, it's very interesting to be in.
The trick is making all those things different enough that they don't seem samey, or one or two subclasses specs just better than all the others. Yeah, that's going to be a challenge.
In a development phase where you're still working on creating things and you're showcasing it at the same time.
Right. It's kind of fun. I like it.
It has its good things and its bad things in regards to that. But it is kind of cool to share that along with you guys and also get your feedback in the process. Our next question here is from Jalan, and he wants to know about player death loot tables. Given that you drop processed goods when you die, and alchemy and cooking are now in the processing category, does that mean when you die you drop food, potions, beverages, etc.?
Good question. As a point of clarity, no, you don't. You do not drop those. So when the things that you drop are the things that are materials and gatherables that are used in the generation of something else. Because alchemy, because cooking has reached its final stage product, that is an item that's protected within your inventory. So food, dishes, and those types of buff items, the potions, those do not drop on death.
And for our final question, to wrap things up, we have a question from Kastai, and they want to know about musical instruments. Bards will have the ability to play musical instruments, but will they be able to be the only archetype with that ability, or will anyone be able to use instruments for recreational and role-playing effects?
That's a good question.
Yes, I want to be a sexy redhead barbarian chick playing pumped up kicks on my ukulele. Oh, that was the wrong key.
My desire is that we will have a system of instrument usage that accompanies a non-particular archetype requirement, right? So obviously, bards have the ability to play certain dances and songs, and those confer buffs to their party members. But also, there's a RP /
be a bard on a pirate ship as you're playing Pirates of the Caribbean as you raid other pirate ships. That'd be hilarious. I want to see someone do it.
I think cool skill opportunity when it comes to players making music and playing the music on certain instruments that they can acquire in the game. That's not something we've worked on yet, but it is a desire of mine.
New World's instrument system is great. With the new character creator, you can make a super hottie. Oh, I know, man.
So, we'll see how that goes.
Awesome. And with that, we're going to wrap up today's stream. We had a lot of stuff for you. We hope that you enjoyed it and that you have a lot to talk about in the month to come. And of course, we will be having a December update, so we hope to see you all next month with some goodies from that. Please head on over to our forums if you haven't already, forums.ashesofcreation.com. We have 2 threads that are up already in regards to this because we wanted to have the cleric and the weapon stuff as one thread and the other one for the day-night cycle and constellations. So please give us your feedback. I saw a lot of people having opinions. So if you got opinions, toss them over there because that is where we're going to be taking our details for our reporting.
That is why we
please.
do these streams. Give us your opinion, give us your thoughts, give us your experiences. Make sure you engage on the YouTube video that comes after this, the Twitters, the Googles, no, I'm just kidding, our forums and our Reddit, because it's very important, and community collects all that feedback and presents it to the development team.
So, they're about to wrap it up, so yeah. That was a pretty good stream. I really enjoyed that one. For me personally, it was just fun to see the combat in action for the first time. It was fun to see zombies. Maybe the respawn of enemies is a bit too quick. I wouldn't mind if they slowed that down, because that could be super obnoxious if when you finish one mob group, the mob group you just killed is coming after you. So maybe they could slow down the respawn timer a little bit. But other than that, I thought that was a really good dev update. I thought that was a good stream, and thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for commenting. Because for a guy my size, I think tonight's stream was really, really good. With a active chat, too. The chat was, like, really active tonight. So that's always fun to see. But, yeah. what else can I say? Thanks for watching, guys. I'm hungry. Take care and good night. You too. So, that's where I'm gonna end the stream for the night. Thank you guys again, and, Artifact out.